Well, I got the tractor all back together after replacing the clutch. Mostly anyway. There's one piece where the power steering arm down here, the little pieces are hard to put back in there. So if you don't have to take those off, I recommend not doing it. Anyway, once I get those done, it'll be completely reassembled except for the frame and stuff. So I did a little cleaning too. That's why you see a little bit more red paint than there was. And as you can see, the hoist is under the front of the engine. The reason for that is that as a result of moving it around, the radius arms would not go back in the sockets. And so I had to pick up the front end of the tractor in order to let those radius arms kind of fall down to where they would fit back in the sockets. So I'll relieve that tension shortly, because it turns out that, of course, there's an issue in the transmission. I have another video that I took, I might splice some of that in here, where when the tractor was split, I put the clutch pad onto the power transmission rod and tried to turn it with the gears, and it told me that there's an issue in the transmission. And also, of course, when I go to start the tractor now, it still rolls forward when I hit the starter button. So that means that replacing the clutch didn't fix it. It may not have even needed to be done in the first place. So that goes. I don't mind that I've done it because I've learned a lot, but you know, it's one of those things. So what's the next step? The next step is to see what's going on in the transmission. The way you do that is you bring your camera over here, and you take this right here from there up to the place where I had already split the tractor is the transmission. In this case, it's a 4-speed transmission, and apparently it might actually be in a 5-speed transmission shell. Oh, I'm sorry. The seam for this is way up there. My bad. That's where I had split the tractor, up there. All the way here, that's transmission. And of course, here's the gear shifter, and you can see that I've already removed some of the screws. Actually, I removed them all because what's in there is pretty funny. So I got this little light, and we're going to take a look inside there. Alright, so here's my shifter rod, and I've got this all taken apart. Now, what do we see in here? There's a great website. I'm going to put a link in the description for what it should look like in here, and what these parts are. But as you can see, the transmission fluid is almost all the way to the top, so I'm going to have to drain all that out to see what's going on down in there. Right in the initial, I can look at the shifter parts, and you can see that there's a little bit of wear. Like, you can see some wear right there where it's been rubbed against the gates, but it looks like it's in pretty good condition to me. You've got your 2 lobes, and then your knob at the bottom for first and third. And then if you look at the first and third bar, that's this one that's going right. The first and third gear right here. It looks pretty good. There's some wear in the little notch, which probably should be. But all in all, it's pretty neat. Yep, so I'm going to drain this out. I think I'm going to drain it into a very large black tote with a trash bag liner in there, so that I don't stink up the tote. This kind of gear oil smells kind of bad and has a lingering scent, so I'm going to do that. And I'm probably going to run it through a strainer. I don't know, there might be little pieces in there, and I want to know that before I start tinkering around inside the transmission. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so all the fluid is drained, and I've taken a look down in there. Unfortunately, there appear to be some broken gears down in the bottom, which means something broke, and if it was fixed, they would have pulled those pieces out, so something is probably still broken in there. I can move around the first and third bar. I can move around the reverse thing. It's kind of stuck. I don't have a way to... It clearly knocks up against something that's probably engaged. The second and fourth gears, I can make them engage, just as I always was able to. Oops. there's second, and well, I can get it in a fourth. Anyway, I don't know enough about this transmission to figure out how it works or what else I can test from up here. But because I can spin this thing, which spins the tires. You may not be able to see that, but because there are gears broken down in there, I think I'm going to have to take the transmission apart. So I'm going to learn a lot. All right, that's that.